There is a profound misconception about the unseen world that has kept you isolated and exhausted. You believe you are being watched by the spiritual realms to be judged or punished for your perceived flaws. That is a lie. You are being studied. You are being meticulously documented by hierarchies of entities, both light and dark, because you possess an occult mechanism they do not understand. You have the ability to transmute sheer darkness into raw, blinding power. The constant pressure you feel, the urge to shrink your brilliance just to exist in average rooms without blinding people, is exactly what is draining your life force. You have been taught that crying is a surrender. But when a spirit like yours is pushed to the edge, a tear is not a sign of defeat. It is the beginning of a terrifying, energetic retaliation. If you have recently noticed that the people who try to manipulate you suddenly see their own lives collapse, or if the attacks against you have inexplicably begun to fail, go to the comments right now and type 777. Register your frequency. Subscribe to this channel because the revelations I am about to share are systematically blocked from those who are not ready to hear them. My name is Enrico, and I have been observing the spiritual architecture of this world for a very long time. Listen to me carefully. I am going to reveal exactly what happens in the unseen dimensions when a manipulator, a narcissist, or a corrupted entity pushes a chosen one to the point of tears. We are not talking about superficial crying. We are not talking about the mundane frustrations of daily life. We are talking about the heavy, agonizing tear that falls when your soul is forced to confront the absolute malice of someone you actively tried to heal. When that specific tear breaks the surface, the first terrifying thing occurs. The unseen world goes completely, deafeningly silent. Angels, beings of pure, unadulterated light, do not possess the capacity to understand human betrayal. They are immune to darkness because they do not interact with it. They exist in a static state of grace. But you do not. You walk through the mud of human corruption. When you process the venom of human cruelty, when your heart physically aches from the sheer dissonance between your pure intentions and their calculated malice, the celestial realms stop and observe in awe. They are witnessing a technology of the soul that they simply do not possess. The transmutation of pure agony into absolute clarity. This brings us to the second terrifying consequence. The exact moment your tear falls, a violent shifting of timelines begins. The universe recognizes that a biological and spiritual boundary has been crossed. You must understand that your energy field is not just an aura, it is a load-bearing pillar in the environment you inhabit. When someone deliberately cracks that pillar, the atmospheric pressure of the spiritual realm changes instantly. The entities that thrive on chaos, the ones hovering around your abuser, suddenly freeze. They realize their host has made a fatal miscalculation. They know that a chosen one's grief does not operate like normal human sadness. Normal sadness creates a low-frequency fog that these entities can feed on. But your sorrow is different. Your sorrow is a highly pressurized alchemy. It is the friction of your immense light grinding against the sudden realization of their total darkness. The unseen watchers know that this friction is about to ignite a fire that will burn the parasite out of your system forever. The manipulator, however, remains dangerously ignorant. They believe they have won when they see you break. They interpret your grief as their ultimate victory, completely unaware that your tears are acting as a universal solvent, dissolving the energetic contracts you unknowingly signed with them. You see, these individuals operate on a parasitic frequency. They lack the internal machinery to generate their own warmth, so they provoke you. They manufacture chaos. They deploy fake vulnerability, and they study your micro-expressions to find the exact crack in your empathy. For months, perhaps years, they forced you into an intellectual and emotional quarantine. You had to constantly monitor your words, dull your sharp instincts, and pretend you did not see their masks slipping, all just to keep a fragile peace. You starved your own intellect so they would not feel small. But when they push you too far, when they extract that tear of profound grief, they accidentally trigger the third consequence, the mirror of absolute truth. Your tears literally wash away the illusion. Your intuition snaps from a state of hopeful denial into a state of cold, surgical hypervigilance. You no longer see a victim in them, you see the parasite clearly. The fourth terrifying thing immediately follows, the reversal of vitality. The pipeline of your empathy, which they had been greedily drinking from, is violently and permanently severed by your sudden clarity. They begin to starve energetically on the spot. At this exact moment, you need something more than just awareness to survive the fallout. You need the architectural blueprints of this spiritual warfare. This is why you must look at the description and the pinned comment below this video. I have secured access to the Wisdom of Solomon Code. This is not a collection of empty motivations or toxic positivity. It is a strictly guarded package containing the complete ebook and audio files designed for the practical mastery of this exact duality. It is the manual for those who are ready to stop bleeding energy and start commanding their frequency. And it costs less than a simple meal. Secure it before it is removed, because what happens next to your attacker requires you to be completely anchored in your own power. Once the illusion is shattered and the energy cord is cut, the fifth terrifying thing is initiated: the activation of your archangelic guard. You must understand that when you, a being marked by a higher frequency, are intentionally damaged, the spiritual defense systems do not respond with gentle forgiveness. They respond with absolute geometric justice. The entities that guide you unleash a karmic boomerang so precise, so mathematically devastating, that it dismantles the very foundation of your abuser's life. This is not about revenge, it is about cosmic equilibrium. The universe cannot allow a corrupted vessel to siphon the energy of a chosen one without triggering a massive immune response. This leads directly into the sixth terrifying thing: the psychological rot of the tormentor. They will begin to suffer from a sudden, inexplicable insomnia. They will wake up in the dead of night with a crushing, suffocating weight on their chest, unable to articulate the primal fear consuming them. They are feeling the echo of the pain they caused you, but because they do not have your spiritual antibodies, they cannot process it. What was a temporary, albeit deep, sorrow for you becomes a permanent, maddening rot in their psyche. Then comes the seventh phase: the total, undeniable collapse of their engineered reality. The masks they wear in front of others begin to slip uncontrollably. The universe orchestrates perfectly timed exposures, revealing their true, malicious nature to everyone they rely on for validation. You do not have to lift a single finger. You do not need to seek revenge or explain your side of the story. Your only job is to stand completely still and watch the architecture of their deceit crumble under the crushing weight of the universal laws they arrogantly violated. Do not ever romanticize the suffering you have endured. There is absolutely no nobility in being an endless punching bag for broken souls who refuse to heal themselves. You were not given this immense light to be a martyr for the dark. The eighth terrifying thing that happens when they make you cry is your rapid evolution into absolute emotional immunity. The tear you shed becomes a permanent seal on your aura. The frequencies of guilt, shame, and manufactured obligation that they once used to control you now simply bounce off your newly forged energetic armor. The demonic entities that orchestrated the attack from the shadows retreat in absolute frustration. They realize their fatal, irreversible error. By trying to destroy you, they accidentally provided the exact heat and pressure needed to forge you into a weapon they can no longer touch. And finally, the ninth terrifying reality for those who cross you is the permanent energetic severance. You become a total enigma to them. As your frequency skyrockets, you physically and spiritually disappear from their radar. They can no longer read your energy, they can no longer predict your moves, and they are completely locked out of your future timeline. You are elevated into a frequency domain where their darkness cannot even survive the atmospheric pressure. You have taken their poison, synthesized it in the laboratory of your own soul, and turned it into the ultimate cure. This is the true mastery of the Chosen One. Your grief is never a weakness. It is the precise, surgical mechanism that cleanses your universe of parasites. You are no longer prey waiting to be consumed. You are the architect of a new, impenetrable timeline. Walk securely in this brutal truth. Do not ever look back at the ruins of those who tried to bury you. And remember that your light is not a request for permission to exist. It is a command.